Yo, what's up, guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some NFL player props that I like for Sunday's wildcard games. We've got two games on Sunday. We were supposed to have three games today, but the Bills and Steelers game got postponed. It got moved to Monday, so we'll have two games on Monday night. We got two games today. So we've got Packers and Cowboys, and then we've got Lions and Rams on Sunday. So I got two player props to give you guys that I do like for these two games on Sunday. We're going to talk about a prop that I do like from each game. So before we do talk through these two plays, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. I do also want to shout out Sleeper because we have a partnership with Sleeper as well. And if you guys don't have an account over on Sleeper, you can download the Sleeper app either on the App Store or the Google Play Store. If you have an iPhone or an Android, they have an app for both. Download that Sleeper app, make a deposit, and when you do make your deposit, use that promo code NOAH before you make your deposit, and you'll get your first deposited match up to $500 over on Sleeper when you use that promo code. Now, if you don't know what Sleeper is, they are an app similar to Prizepicks. They're similar to a lot of the DFS pick'em apps you see around the industry. Sleeper is really easy to use. You're just picking over, under, more, or less on player projections. Sleeper offers a multiplier payout system. So what that means is the payouts you get on a certain prop, it depends on whether you take the over or the under, the payout that you get. But their multipliers can range from anywhere from like 1.1x up to like 4x. I've seen props that have like a 4x payout just from that one pick alone. Sleeper does offer a lot of different props. Like for NFL, you can take anytime touchdown props for just about any player. You can take rushing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns. Some of those props do offer higher payouts, assuming you take the over. So check out Sleeper, guys. You can win up to 100x your money over there. If you guys don't have an account on Sleeper, again, use that promo code NOAH and get your first deposited matched up to $500. But let's talk through two Prizepicks plays I'm liking for Sunday's NFL games for day two of the wild card round. Do want to say we did give out two plays. We gave out two plays for Saturday's NFL games, and hopefully you guys did tail because the two picks we gave out for Saturday did both hit. We took the over on Devin Singletary, 13 fantasy points. That hit. Singletary got a late rushing touchdown, which did put him over his fantasy score. And then we took Tua under 15.5 fantasy score, which also hit. Tua, I think, finished with like 13.5 fantasy points. He was getting some garbage time, passing yards. Luckily, though, he wasn't able to get that second touchdown that would have put him over. That's kind of what I was hoping for, was that Tua would only have one touchdown. And he finished with one touchdown, went under his fantasy score. So hopefully you guys tailed the two plays I gave out Saturday. Let's try and hit both the plays for Sunday and continue this momentum. So talking through the two picks I like for Sunday. First prop we're going to take a look at. We're going to go back to the fantasy score category. Once again, I got two fantasy score props I'm liking for Sunday. First prop I like from the Cowboys and Packers game. We're going to look at Jordan Love's fantasy score of 16.5, and I like the over here for Jordan Love. So Jordan Love, he has been playing very, very well lately. He has gone over this fantasy score line in 8 out of his last 9 games. The one game he did miss was the game against the Giants where he had about 12 fantasy points. But other than that game, he's gone over in 8 out of his last 9 games. The matchup here against the Cowboys, it might not be the best. The Cowboys do have a good defense. They have done a pretty good job limiting fantasy points to the quarterback position. But the game environment here is really good. Right now, this Cowboys-Packers game, really both the games on Sunday are expected to be higher scoring games. Both games have totals over 50. Both these games on Sunday are being played in indoors. They're in domes. Obviously, we saw the weather kind of be a big impact in that Chiefs Dolphins game on Saturday night. Well, weather won't be an issue today because both these games are being played indoors. These are going to be some high-scoring games, I think, on Sunday. And right now, the total in this game, it sits at 50.5. The Packers, they are 7-point underdogs here, going on the road into Green Bay. On the road into Dallas. So this does set up as a game script where the Packers probably will be playing from behind and they will be forced to throw. And if we just take a look at Jordan Love's props this week, you look at his passing yards and all of his individual props. So his passing yards prop is set at 250.5. So the sports books are projecting him to throw around 250 pass yards. Jordan Love does have some rushing upside. He hasn't been running a ton lately, but he is mobile. He can run. His rush yards prop is set at 9.5. And then if you look at his passing touchdowns prop on DK Sportsbook, he's pretty heavily favored. He is minus 140 to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And that's the reason that you're seeing Prizepicks. They're offering his passing touchdowns prop at 1.5, but they're making it a goblin, which means if you take this, you get a reduced payout because the odds of this hitting are higher than a normal prop. So if we expect Jordan Love to throw for about 250 passing yards, if we expect him to throw 2 touchdowns, well, that's 18 fantasy points. 250 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns would be 18 fantasy points. And that's not accounting for any rushing yards that Jordan Love gets. Again, Jordan Love is mobile. He can run. Maybe he throws 1 pick or 2 picks, and maybe he loses 1 or 2 points for that. But still, I think if we expect Jordan Love to throw for about 250 yards here, if we expect him to throw 2 touchdowns, this fantasy score line of 16.5 definitely looks a bit too low. Again, the game environment here is really good. This game does have some shootout potential. And just looking at projections kind of around the industry, I was looking at Sleeper's fantasy score lines. They currently have their line on Jordan Love set at 19.4. So they actually have their line almost 3 points higher than what Prizepicks does. So I think Prizepicks, this line of 16.5, I think they are, projecting Jordan Love a little bit low here. If I was, making projections, I think I'd have this line around 17.5, 18. I definitely think 16.5 is a bit low. So I do like the over here for Jordan Love, more than 16.5 fantasy score. A lot of ways we could get, hit this over, whether it be, from, running good on touchdowns. Maybe Jordan Love gets 2 passing touchdowns, which he is heavily favored to do. Or we could get, just a bunch of yards. If this game does wind up being somewhat of a shootout, I mean, we could see Jordan Love throw for, 300 plus yards. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. And if the Cowboys get a big lead, which they've been able to do a lot at home this season, the Cowboys have played great at home. That's going to set up as a, playing from behind, pass-heavy game script for the Packers. So, like this play quite a bit. Jordan Love, more than 16.5 fantasy score. That's going to be our first play for today. And then going to the other game, the next game, the Sunday night game, Rams and Lions. Another game that does project to be higher scoring. This Rams-Lions total sits at 51.5. It's actually the highest total of all the playoff games, this weekend. 51.5 total here. The Lions are favored by 3. So this is expected to be kind of a back and forth, higher scoring game. And the prop that I like in this game is going to be, we're going to go back to the quarterback position here. Jared Goff, 16.5 fantasy score. And I also like the over for Jared Goff. So Jared Goff, I don't really look at home and road splits that much. I think home and road splits can be pretty, they can be people just weight them too heavily. But the home and road splits for Jared Goff are actually very significant. If you look at how he has played at home this season versus on the road, it is a drastic, difference, and it's been that way really throughout his career. He has really benefited from playing, in Detroit in a dome where, obviously there's no weather conditions. Jared Goff, kind of like we saw with Tua, Tua did not play that well Saturday night. I think Tua really struggled just because of the weather. I think if Jared Goff had to play in those conditions, he would really struggle as well. I think Jared Goff is one of these guys that, he likes playing in Detroit because he likes playing in that dome. He's played very well at home this season. And if you look at Goff's splits this year, if you look at his game log at home this season, he's played, I believe, 8 games at home this year. He's played 8 games at home this season. He's gone over this fantasy score line in 7 out of those 8 games. So 7 out of 8 games at home this season, Jared Goff has had at least 16.5 fantasy points. He has had at least 2 passing touchdowns in all but 2 of those games. There was one game where he had 19 fantasy points, only throwing 1 touchdown because I believe he did get a rushing touchdown in that game, which typically you don't expect from Jared Goff. And then against the Raiders, he did throw for 272 yards, only 1 touchdown, finished with 13.7 fantasy points. But again, 8 out of 9 home games this season, Jared Goff has gone over 16.5 fantasy points. And if we look at Goff's stats, just kind of like we did with Jordan Love, if we take a look at Goff's projections and what kind of the books are projecting him for, so his passing yards prop is set at 262.5. If we assume Jared Goff is throwing around 250, 260 yards, well, that'd be about 10, 11 fantasy points right there. Jared Goff is not someone that's really going to give you any rushing upside, so you don't expect him to really get rushing yards. But if we project him for about 250, 260 passing yards, and then if we project him for 2 touchdowns, which if you look at DK Sportsbook right now, he is heavily favored to throw 2 touchdowns. He's minus 140 on DK Sportsbook to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. If we expect Goff to throw about 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, well, very similar to the Jordan Love projection. That's assuming that's going to put Goff at around 18 fantasy points. I know Love does offer a little bit of rushing upside, which Goff doesn't. Which I think if I had to pick one of these two, like if you made me choose which one of these two is my favorite, I think Love's is my favorite just because he does offer a little bit of rushing upside. But I definitely think this Goff line is a little bit low, especially just with how well Goff has played at home this season, given the game environment here. And again, sportsbooks are projecting Goff for about 260 passing yards. He's heavily favored to throw 2 touchdowns. If he throws for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns, he's very likely to go over 16.5 fantasy points. And looking at sleepers lines where they have Jared Goff projected for, they currently have his fantasy score line set at 18.3. So their line is almost 2 points higher than what Prizepicks has. So I definitely think Prizepicks is a little bit, they're projecting Jared Goff a little bit low here. These are the 2 picks, guys, that I do like for Sunday's NFL games. Jordan Love, more than 16.5 fantasy score, and Jared Goff, more than 16.5 fantasy score. If you guys are going to tell me on these 2 plays, hopefully we can once again hit both these plays and make some money on this NFL slate. I do appreciate you guys watching the video, as always, and supporting the content. If you guys did enjoy this Prizepicks video, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and again, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to sign up and use that promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Good luck today. Appreciate you guys watching the video and supporting the content. Let's all make some money today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.